in a crowded market with a lot of programs, as we're talking about right now, we just named 3 that there are, and it's like, oh my gosh, how do you choose what to be loyal to, and how could you create a loyalty offering that stands out in all the noise and dissonance, right?
Yeah, I think there's some key things.
All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome back to What's the Point? This is episode 8. Nate Smith, Digital Creative Director, Point. My buddy Raul Espinosa over there in the corner. Today, we're super excited to have a very special guest, our newest addition to the squad. Well, one of our newer additions to the squad, not the newest because Rachel and Teresa and all of them are here. But Jen Bedford, our SVP of Client Services, joined us just
3 months ago.
It's been 90 days already?
It has.
Holy smokes. In this episode, we're going to sit with Jen to explore the ever-changing landscape of loyalty programs and what it takes to build true, lasting customer relationships in today's competitive market. With deep experience across loyalty, CRM, analytics, and business transformation, Jen brings a unique perspective on how brands can design loyalty programs that go far beyond discounts and points, programs that drive meaningful engagement, incremental value, and long-term customer advocacy. Jen, how are you, dear?
Thank you so much, Nate. It's a pleasure to be here, and your intro is just too kind.
That's Raul's intro. Like I said, I'm just the guy that reads the stuff. Raul is the really the brilliant person behind all this.
Thank you, Raul.
I'm just like, I just stick and move, just get in here and just, hey, I got to read some stuff off. But yeah, no, he does a great job. So we're super excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much
for this 8th episode. We're trucking along. Yeah. So it's going to be fun to talk. So what's going on in your world right now? How are your first few months going?
That's a great question. It's interesting. We're talking about loyalty today because I spent so much time in loyalty. But I would say some of the things that I've experienced here at Point are really invoking my right brain. There's some brilliant writers, some very creative designers. You guys nail stuff. I'm just thrilled to be a part of the team. And all I can say is I hope I can bring that left brain. I love engaging the right, but I'm hoping that my left brain complements all of you guys. So
you are a little sharp thing. So we're going to get into some of why that is today. We're going to get your insights on some stuff.
Appreciate it.
So we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
So let's dive right in, shall we?
Sounds great.
Okay, so as it pertains to loyalty, what are some of the changes you've seen in loyalty programs over the years, and how does that impact the outcomes you're seeing today?
Yeah, it's interesting when I think back, and I will date myself, so I won't go as far back when I started in loyalty all those years ago. But yeah, back then it was very transactional in nature. Yeah. I would say that the programs they offered value. They were really new and unique to the space. But I would say that they were quid pro quo. So, hey, I'll give you this and you exchange back with me. And so it's that transaction. Since then, nowadays, that type of loyalty really, that's just table stakes. You have to have the transactions as part of your program, but that's not really where it's at, so to speak. The reward programs have really evolved into more of an experiential and emotional type of engagement. I would say, if you think about exclusive events, certain concerts, dining experiences, and just trying to think of some other examples, but you're really building those connections at an emotional level with your member base, and that's what's pulling them in. That experiential level of loyalty is really where you see your advocacy and your retention soar with your loyalty program. I would also say, and feel free to chime in at any point if there's something I say that triggers a thought. Feel free to ask. There's so much here that I just love to talk about it. So
that's fantastic.
But I would say, from a maturity standpoint and personalization, that's another key differentiator in how programs have evolved over the years. Early programs, of course, they still had tier levels where you could earn a little bit more the higher you climbed, and there was some reward for that. But today, I would say the data that's captured as part of your program provides a far more sophisticated way to engage with your member base.
Sure.
And I would say a key piece of loyalty today is the fact that, you have their explicit permission to use their data. It's somewhat inherent in the loyalty program itself. And when you have that wealth of data, we all know data is king. That's another part of my background. I'm kind of a data geek. So the ways
You're a nerd.
I'm a nerd, guys. Don't let the hat fool you. Yeah.
So how much of that do you think? It's funny because I just talked to Ryan. Riley and I just talked to Ryan about. You had mentioned authenticity and loyalty programs. How much of that do you think is because social's made the world such a small place, and now we're moving away from the era of followers and likes into community-driven experiences, right?
Yeah.
How much of that how much of loyalty now do you believe is truly being driven by social and vice versa? But then also, what are a couple of brands that you see are doing it really well? Because I have mine that I know that I'm a part of that I know are doing it well, and I know they're doing it well because I continue to go back to them.
Yeah.
But what are some brands that you feel like are doing a really great job of it right now?
You know, some of my favorite brands, I'll start with Starbucks. And I know maybe that's cliche, but it's so
true.
good. It just is. And I would say this kind of bleeds into probably an entire topic on what makes a loyalty program stand out.
Yeah.
But the level of integration and the frictionless experience that you have. I mean, Starbucks is killer. You can order right from the app. It makes it so easy and convenient. You can look at your stars, and start to accumulate, and you know what you can redeem.
Yeah.
And they do a great job of community, and they do a great job of building in gamification into their app.
Yeah.
It's smooth and sleek. Another example I would say is Chipotle. They do a great job. They're about to wrap up their summer game, or you had June, July, August to build extra stickers and points. They're really knocking it out of the park too.
Yeah. I would say a third one out of that bunch is probably Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
Chick-fil-A does an incredible job. I've been a Signature member for a while now, so I know better than most. There shouldn't be one so close to the office, man.
Right?
And it's so
tempting.
easy to just go grab some nugs and fries or a salad or something. But yeah, it's I would say Starbucks is almost like the godfather of the loyalty program.
Yes.
Right? They probably started doing it because they started theirs pretty early at like the onset of when loyalty first really started to become a thing. And they have just done it as far as like, especially in the hospitality, food and beverage space, they've done it better than most. I mean, there are some retailers out there that are doing a really great job too, but Starbucks I think is far and away the best of the best, right? They do a really great job of it.
They really have knocked it out.
In a crowded market with a lot of programs, as we're talking about right now, we just named 3 that there are, and it's like, oh my gosh, how do you choose what to be loyal to, and how could you create a loyalty offering that stands out in all the noise and dissonance, right?
Yeah. Well, and it truly is. It's going back to that experiential and emotional connection piece of loyalty and how it's evolved. But really, truly, what are the ways you're differentiating your program? What unique experiences are you providing that frictionless experience on the mobile app, or if they're online, or if they're in store? Is it all connected? And do they know you as a customer?
Yeah.
Those are some of and I would say almost at this point, table stakes, because that's where you start to bleed into personalization, repeat behaviors. Does the brand really know you, and can they speak to you and your preferences? Yeah. There's other things that you can do to stand out, and that's really creating unique opportunities and experiences. I'll jump over to hospitality for a second. You can look at Marriott and Hilton and some of the others. They have now formed partnerships with concert venues, dining halls, all types, sports events. Those are things that really, truly make it unique. And being able to, I would say, redeem points, but have that level of status through the loyalty program to get access that's otherwise not available, those are ways to stand out.
Yeah. I actually want to throw somebody else in that mix too, in the tech space, actually. I don't know how many of you out there have T-Mobile, but they recently changed over from their regular billing app to an app that's called T-Life that used to be their experiential app. And now they merged the two, but they offer all kinds of connections to other brands, like whether it's Netflix or other streaming platforms. AT&T is doing some really cool stuff too, where they offer you benefits just for being locked in. Like they say, if you go to this concert venue or this show, be sure to show them your T-Life barcode because you'll get special incentives for being just a part of the thing. So they're giving people reasons to stay connected. It's like I think one important thing for brands to understand is it's no different than like if you're having a heart of service in a community with the people that you care about, right? You want to do the best you can for them. And I think these brands are starting to realize that more and more. It's like the more connectivity and human connection we can create with our customers and really care about the same things they care about, but give them opportunities to care more about those things.
Yeah.
And we can help facilitate it with the connections that we have. That's really where I think the secret sauce is and where the magic starts to happen. We talked about that a lot from the social perspective with Ryan, and he had a lot of really great insights around it.
I love that. I love that. And you nailed something that's really key right now in loyalty, is having that philanthropy piece and showing charitable donations, being able to give back through the loyalty program. You may be collecting a quote unquote currency, whatever the currency is of the brand, but you're able to then turn around and create value out of that and give it to charity in turn, and give it, pay it forward, right?
That's amazing, and I think that really plays into this point, which is especially with the newer gens, they want to be locked in with brands that care about the things they care about.
Yes,
so
absolutely, yeah.
It's like I was giving the example of my daughter. She thrifts because she cares about the wellness of the earth, and she believes that the production of textiles contributes to air pollution, right? And so she goes and buys upcycled clothes, right? And that's her vibe. That's what she likes. She really doesn't care about big brands. She cares about doing better for the world. And not to say that she's any better than anybody else, but a lot of her friends are that way too.
Yeah.
They have these little pockets of kids that want to be connected to brands that are doing things that are involved with the things that they care about.
Yeah. She's Gen Z. Or is she right on the cusp?
She's 18.
Okay, yeah, I think that's right on the cusp of Gen Z and Alpha. But my son's 22. He's right there too.
Yeah.
And there is Gen Z, especially, like a lot of the research, they really do. They are tied into what they care about, and you're spot on, Nate.
So let's put on your consumer hat for a minute. So what factors do you consider whenever? Because again, we have to look at it from a user perspective. Everything we do, we have to look at it from a user perspective because we're human too. And we're like, well, what would I want to see? What are things that you look for when you consider selecting a loyalty program that you want to be a part of?
Yeah,
because we get asks all the time for that kind
Absolutely.
of stuff. Right? Sign up for the app, join this club, do this, do that. Yeah.
And I think it all ties back into that frictionless experience and that just smooth engagement. So first I look at the integrations. What types of integrations? I know that sounds pretty technical, right? I'm a geek. That's what I do. But when you turn that into a user experience conversation, it becomes very different. So, for example, all the different paths along the customer pathway of where you might engage with the brand, if that's frictionless and smooth, it completely streamlines that entire life cycle. If I go to the point of sale, whether it's in store or online, I should be able to have the same general experience, be able to use my points in the same way, or whatever the currency is for that brand. I should be able to have a seamless mobile app experience. All the different types of, I would say, back-end systems that connect with the loyalty program in your entire ecosystem should really be connected. Yeah. And that's a lot of technical stuff that goes on in the backside, but it's pretty critical.
A lot of which we end up being the ones to connect all those to make all those things make sense. So it is a lot of work. It's a big lift, but at the end of the day, it gives you more insights and better learning so that you can do the best you can with your program.
And that's kind of foundational. But I would say when you're going to select a program, you would also look at a couple of other things that are more user interface from a consumer-facing perspective, as well as, is it good for your brand on the business side?
Oh, yeah.
What's the functionality of the reward engine that's powering the loyalty program? I love to really look at it from, and I call it aggregate and cumulative behaviors, but having that type of functionality that's really robust in your loyalty program allows you to create the types of incentives that encourage repeat behavior. Yeah. That's where the gamification comes in, and community, and getting them to come back and earn over the course of several transactions. So that from, I would say, just one piece, but a pretty core piece of functionality.
And you have to be pretty on top of that, because if you're able to rope somebody in and they have a bad experience, or it's too cumbersome to download the app or to sign up or to go through the process of getting to the point where you can be rewarded, I think the thing that makes Starbucks so great is they've thought about every aspect of that, and it's the seamlessness of it, the seamlessness of using their app, the way everything's tied in together. You don't have to go get a separate loyalty app. It all happens inside their singular app. Used to, remember back, this is aging myself horribly, is remember when you used to have two apps? It's like, I need the the app, like the marketing app for Starbucks, but then there's a separate loyalty program before they
Yeah.
merged them, because
Yeah.
it was a few years before they did, before everybody started kind of figuring out, okay, we need to all really, people don't want to download two apps. They need everything in one seamless place and experience.
Hilton was the same way. There was the hotel app for booking, and then there was a loyalty app. And I'm like, wait, this is so confusing.
Their new app's really good. I love the Hilton Honors
Yeah.
app. It's so good. And Marriott's is good too.
Yes.
I can't remember what theirs is called. It's like
Bonvoy.
Bonvoy. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. Yeah, their app is really great.
IHG is really good too. I mean, I could
IHG is good
spend
too.
hours
Yeah.
talking about the points and currency types of redemptions. You can use
Yeah.
both on hotels. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's get into the data component a little bit more. We'll dive a little bit deeper into this. What metrics or customer behaviors do you prioritize when identifying high value segments and predictive future value?
Yeah. I think there's some key things. I'll start with customer lifetime value, your basic CLV. I would also say RFM scoring, so your recency, frequency, and monetary value. Those are, I would say table stakes, but those are just some key attributes you want to capture. And there's some modeling that goes on behind the scenes to make sure that you have the data to be able to produce those scores, but they're really effective when you're starting to segment your campaigns and look at your customer value. You can combine that with engagement rates, your churn rates, just average orders and things of that nature. I mean, there's a number of attributes you might look at, but collectively, you can use that data to predict future value.
Yeah.
So that's yet another, I would say, attribute that you would want to segment and model after.
Yeah.
And I would say data in general is, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but data in general, driving personalization, driving segmentation, driving how you talk to how you speak with your customers and engage them is super critical. And so, we could probably have an entire podcast on organizing and cleansing data, pulling data from disparate systems together so you can holistically see what your customer's doing. But quite frankly, that's what a loyalty program really sits at the heart of, pulling all that data together so you can understand across systems, across transactions, across behaviors, what does this person look like? And then you run all this, and this is where I start to geek out. You run the models, regression analysis. You can do, whatever you need against that data to look at, okay, who are your top performers? Who should you target that's starting to lapse? Things like that.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. So we got a little bit of personalization and segmentation. What role does personalization play in building loyalty that lasts, that sustains? Yes.
So, and that's a great question. And trying to make sure that we translate personalization into value, that is so critical. And I would say, again, another set of table stakes here, but people are really starting to expect personalization. Do you know who I am? Do you know what I like? And so when you get an email about a product that maybe you were searching that you went ahead and you bought, but then you get an email afterwards that says, hey, we noticed that you're looking at this, still interested? And you think, I just bought that. Yeah. You're not paying attention. Yeah. That's a poor experience.
Yeah.
Versus you have the brand that says, hey, we noticed that you like this. Can you give us a review? Or, hey, we noticed you purchased this. Come back, we got something complimentary for you. Like, you're really able to tag on. When I log into the Sephora app, it knows my past purchases and it says, hey, we'd like to recommend this. Or, hey, is it time to buy it again? It really encourages you to come back, and it's so easy and seamless.
I think brands need to hire you to have a little animated GIF that plays, or a video you can click on that goes, "Hey, we noticed you like this. Do you want to grab this?" And you get like an extra 25% off. It's like, I'd buy it. So
I'll do that. How long can I do that and get paid?
Let's bounce back for a minute. So how would you use that data to evaluate whether a loyalty program is delivering incremental value versus rewarding existing behavior?
Great question. So I would say start with member versus non-member cohorts. I mean, that's really your baseline where you look to see what's happening.
Yeah.
When you establish what your non-members are doing, non-loyalty program members are doing, you're looking at non-incentivized behavior. So, okay, if that's your core, your baseline, what are your members doing in similar segments? Because you want to look at similar demographics or similar attributes.
Sure.
Are they spending a little bit more? Are they a little more frequent? Are we predicting their lifetime value to be higher? That's where you can start to see that, yeah, your members really are a more valuable segment. I would also say on individualized campaigns, running that control group. So even if you're just targeting members with incentives, carve off that control group and see, are your members that are incentivized outperforming your control group? That's kind of the basics, but doing that regularly, and it doesn't always have to be the same control group, of course, because you don't want to alienate a certain segment, but try across your customer base in the individual segments to carve off a control group and see how your incentives are performing across them.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So, man, we've gone through all these really quickly. There's a couple more we have here that we want to kind of get at and get your insights around. So, how should companies think about balancing short-term rewards with that long-term customer value?
Yes. Yep. I think that's pretty critical too, because you want to be able to have those short-term wins. And I think this is where you have different types of loyalty incentives. So I'll just use a couple of Hilton examples and this is from back in the day. Sure. But we used to differentiate and we would offer immediate bonus points. So if there was something where, let's say, they have average length of stay, ADR, which is their average daily rate, things like that, where they're looking at specific hotels. If that's falling, maybe they really need to boost that up. And so there would be specific hotel incentives like, hey, come stay here and get 2,000 extra points. Or, maybe it's a system-wide promotion where they're trying to encourage behavior. Hey, come on out and get 2,000 points every time you stay.
Yeah.
But then we had other types of promotions where they were longer term. And you're looking at that, long-term customer value. And a couple of those would be, okay, if we can get someone to stay 3 more times over the course of the next 3 months, we're extending their value and keeping them coming back.
Yeah.
This is where some of those cumulative and aggregate behaviors come into play. And that's looking at it more long-term.
Yeah.
I would say, and that's really more on a tactical level.
Sure.
From a long-term reward perspective, using those emotional and experiential rewards to engage them and knowing that they're going to get preferential treatment at higher tier status levels, that continues to build that long-term brand advocacy.
Yeah, like certain things, like when you walk in, if you're a loyalty member, like, I'm with Marriott and Hilton Honors, actually, and I'm giving way too much information, but if I walk into any of those properties, like I was in New York recently, I went to the Guild Hall, the Thompson Hotel, which is a Hilton property, and the experience when you get that front desk, the treatment you get, I don't know what it is when it's not. I mean, I'm sure they're nice no matter what, but the things you get, like they'll hand you that bag with a couple of drinks in it, maybe a cookie or a candy bar or something, and they're like, hey, enjoy your stay. But also, Starbucks, let's talk about short-term rewards, because you were talking about Chipotle a minute ago and the summer games that they do.
Yes.
But then also, like during Christmas, I love peppermint mochas. It's like one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite drinks, especially during the holidays.
Yes.
So Starbucks will hit me with the, hey, over the next this many days, buy 5 mochas, no matter what size they are, and get double points, right, on every one that you order. And then once you reach that 5th one or whatever it is, however many they tell you, then you get additional points on top of that, which ultimately leads to, or it's like more like a free drink or something like that. So get an extra mocha when you buy 5 or something. So I always feel like them. I was like, yeah, they really do know me. Like that's something that I would be interested in, because they wouldn't, if I don't get Americanos, because I always pay with my app. If I'm not getting Americanos, and they're not going to offer me something that's Americano based, right? They're offering me things they know I want, and then I'm going to come back for anyway. Yeah. So like, well, let's, he's spending some money here, so let's give him some additional incentive to keep coming back and doing that.
You've hit on some interesting psychology, and I'm going to give you my Starbucks rant too.
Please, that's what we're here for.
I love mocha, and yes, peppermint mocha during the holidays is my favorite.
I get it outside the holiday. I had one yesterday.
Oh, really? I thought they didn't bring the peppermint in.
No, they serve it all year. Yeah, they serve it all year.
I thought it was like pumpkin spice. It only happens.
I try not to wear it out, because by the time the holidays get here, it's like,
it's not as exciting. I know, right.
But they don't carry like the pumpkin spice lattes. But they do peppermint year round.
They do. Good to know. Well, it's interesting. So my most recent Starbucks offer included pick one of the following. Mocha, which I love just regular mocha too, and I get that throughout the year on occasion. Yeah. Any type of green tea. Nice. And you know they have those medicine balls where
medicine
they,
balls,
yeah.
Oh, they're awesome.
And I've had a few of those because I think there's something going around the office. I just want to make sure that I don't get sick.
There's going around the office, yeah. I probably need to go get one, yeah. Maybe I'll get extra points for it.
Yeah. And then there was a bakery item, which, so I used to get Starbucks food all the time, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, like, I'm not so sure about it anymore. Yeah, so.
However, that swirl coffee cake is so good. Yeah, that was so good.
You know, their pumpkin bread is my favorite. I did actually get one the other day, I'll admit.
Anybody else hungry?
Yes. Yeah, here we go. We're going to go grab some Starbucks beer back. But what's interesting to me about that offer was that it was like, buy 3 or maybe 4 of these in the next week and get, I think it was 200 extra points or something like that.
Yeah.
And there is a level, I'm like, yeah, that's compelling. But I know I'm not going to buy 3 or 4 of those this week.
Right.
Like if they had offered me 2 with lesser points, I would have done it.
Or those 4 over a longer length of time.
Yes.
Like what do you consider short term? Is it just a week? Is it a month? Because again, you're asking a lot of people, I think, but a lot of that's behavioral based too. So if I go to Starbucks every day and I usually get a handcrafted drink when I go, and I probably stop habitually, but I don't always just get coffee. I usually get a latte or something else, and you're looking at $6-7 a pop. So if they're looking at you spend $35 a week,
right,
or something like that, they're going to start to think that they've got the means to do this, obviously, or at least from what we can tell.
Yeah.
Let's extend this offer to them and see how that plays, but. They probably get some learnings real quick that, okay, he's not going to buy 5 breakfast sandwiches from us in a week.
Yeah.
Which somebody can make the argument to say, well, coffees are expensive too. I mean, just make coffee at the house, if you have like an espresso or something.
But that fresh brew, it
kills
me.
I
got the little pods. I got Starbucks pods at home, but it's just not the same.
White Rock Coffee, I still love you, by the way. That is not an admission of guilt. You guys are just right next to each other, and sometimes I stop one place and sometimes I stop the other, but y'all are great too, so much love. Jen, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
So happy to have you. We love talking to you. So you guys, for more insights like what you heard from Jen today and what you heard from Ryan prior to, be sure to visit thepointgroup.com and follow us on LinkedIn at The Point Group, where you can get some more thought leadership and insights around every kind of topic you can possibly imagine in the advertising and marketing space. We try to cover it all. We got a lot of great, really smart, creative people here that have a ton of thoughts around everything that's anything going on in the industry today. And don't forget to follow us across social at The Point Group. And if you're watching on YouTube, you know what to do. Smash that the like and subscribe buttons down there at the bottom. Get in the comments. I don't know why I just flubbed the line, but be sure to connect with us there and let us know if you want to see more stuff like this, and let us know what you think, or if you have thoughts around any of it. We always love to chop it up about all this stuff. So until the next time, for Raul Espinoza, Nate Smith, Jen Bedford, we'll see you on the flip side.